Yo, what's up, boys? Back at it with another rogue guide for you all. Thank you so much for all the incredible feedback that you guys have been giving me on these rogue breakdowns. I've decided we're going to turn this into a series where I'm just going to break down every single arena match, all the comps, what's up, kitty, and what to do. So make sure to subscribe for these episodes because they'll be dropping every single day. So this video is going to be about Rogue Mage versus Rogue Priest on Rings of Lordaeron. I'm going to break down this win for you guys. So if you're new here, what we're going to do is we're going to roll through the video so you can see what happens. Then we're going to play it back and we're going to go through it together slowly so you can really digest and understand what's going on. So you can take all the bits and inspiration and incorporate it into your own gameplay so you can win more games. All right. So let's jump into it. Here we go, guys. I'm going to let this roll again so you guys can get exposed to it, and then we'll deep dive. So let's let it run. I'll actually have the volume up as well. Hold on. I just got bits. Hold on, baby.
We gotta kill this.
Sap them.
Alright. I'm a fucking
Sap.
monster, this dude.
He's cleaning. I'll cheap him, okay?
Oh my god, my pet still don't work,
Ready?
but whatever. A gross on me.
Rogue vanished.
Sorry. Stand, priest. Please, kidney. Big damage. I'll imp out.
I'll cheap Rogue.
I block.
Are you fucking kidding
Oh, I can't imp. Yeah, this perfect gouge. Bro, I got the kill. I'll sheep. Nova first.
Binding. He's gonna trick it.
Nice kill.
There it is.
I wrapped her in the
fucking pillar. Awesome. So let's jump back into the beginning. So this is actually a really hard matchup for Rogue Mage. Just because rogues can interfere a lot and really disrupt. And the battle between rogue and rogue, this is honestly like what it really comes down to. It's just how the rogues interact with one another, because it's going to be pretty standard here. The mage is going to be opening up on the priest. The mage is going to go pretty aggro, and you can help him out since you're double DPS, as you saw. Let's just get this video. Let's get the video going a little bit so we can speed up. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to sap the priest. The mage can go invis too, which is really good because it allows him to get up to the pillar. This is Rings of Lordaeron, so usually the priest is going to push up to the pillar. That's why the mage wants to go invis, so we can get up to the pillar as well, while I can secure that sap. If you're going up against Alliance Priest Rogue, I'll just slide this in there. You want to stand on top of your mage, so just in case if you get sapped, he can AoE the rogue out, and that will kind of even odds and maybe force the rogue to use a vanish early. So just a little side tip. I got the priest sapped up at the top. Now, what I'm going to do is I see the rogue opens with Garrow, which is pretty standard. They're going to stop the first frostbolt onto the priest. But what I do here is I do a cheap shot. And the reason why I do a cheap shot was because I don't want the priest to start running away. If I Garroted, I wouldn't have gotten a lot of my damage, or the mage wouldn't have got a lot of his damage off because I'm not having a slow on the priest, and he's going to be able to just go right over the tomb and then just be able to get away. So that's why I chose cheap shot in this scenario. Most of the time you want to do Garrow. And again, the higher you go up this ladder, I'm getting it too ahead of myself. And another thing is I didn't do another global after my cheap shot. The higher you go up the ladder, they're going to start using the arena 1, 2, 3 macros, whether it's with shadow step or if it's just a normal cheap shot and they're staying on top of the priest. And what that's going to do is if you do a second global, you're actually going to get caught by the rogue. So it's very important that you just do a Garrow and you just do a cheap shot and don't get greedy, because it's bad gaming etiquette and you will be punished later at the higher brackets. So learn it the right way at the bottom and work it up through the top. So you have it learned, you have it ingrained, and you're not doing those bad habits where you're getting punished at a higher rating where the rating means more to you. So here we go. I got a cheap shot on the priest. I'm looking for the rogue, and now he's calling out he wants some damage. And so what I do is I do a Garrow. Again, this is where I'm getting greedy. So the reason why I went here though is because my mage is on top of the priest, and I knew if he wanted to stop me, he would have to shadow step cheap shot me, which is fine, because if he did shadow step cheap shot me, I would then trinket blind, knowing that he would trinket and that I would vanish cheap shot, and then he would get sheeped, and we would be on the priest with a full silence. So he wouldn't be able to get dispelled. And then at that point, we would pretty much win the game. So this is why I did this here. And it was also one of those plays that's like a high risk, high reward. I've personally never done this play before where I did a Garrote into a full kidney, but it was something that he was kind of calling with the comms like kidney. And it was an idea that came to me where I was like, okay, I can get probably maybe 1 second because of the global after Garrote and then do a full kidney, which would give 6 seconds. This would be a really, really big go on the priest, which would force the rogue to open, which is ideally what I wanted. I wanted the rogue to open off this kidney if I could pull it off, for me to use a cheap shot and then maybe get his trinket or get a sheep and then be on the priest with a silence, force the trinket there into a full blind. Boom. Circling back to the warrior priest, right? What do we want to do? We want to trap. We want to trap, put them in scenarios where their health bar is low, forcing their teammate to have to trinket something in order for them to save them while we want them to do that. And then they eat the bigger CC, such as a blind or something like that, or a full sheep. So here we go, full kidney, and I step away because with the Lordaeron, box, what's really cool is because he's on the center. There's 4 different angles, right, that I could be at. It's a coin toss where I'm at right now. So I'm going to be doing cheap shot. I did the Garrote kidney, but I'm already jumping down on one side. So if he was on my side, he probably would have found me and would have been able to open on me. But that was a coin toss, and that's a risk that I was willing to take in order to make this play. Because now look at the Garrote. Like, look at this opener, right? This is a perfect freeze frame. There's like about a second or half a second left, and there's a full kidney, and my mage is casting. So this is a huge damage coming in for the priest. And I did the coin toss of what side the rogue's going to be on. I'm going to bet that he's on this side. I'm going to commit to this side. That's why I jumped so far off. So I could potentially outrange a step. I would go over the tomb and he wouldn't be in my line of sight. So then he couldn't cover me and then trying to turn the tables. So from this play, boom, look at that, 10%. Force the rogue to open. And we still have cheap pre-med. We don't have kidney, so we probably won't force a trinket off of cheap shot, but it's a possibility depending on this player. The priest is at 10%, okay? And there's 1.5 seconds left. So he just stops our mage and now opens. I had an issue with my key bindings, and my shadow step cheap shot wasn't on the proper bind. So that's why you're going to see me right here. I quickly learned that I wasn't shadow stepping to him. So I was like, okay, something's going on. I just need to go to him. And then I kind of got memed by the edge, but then I go and then shadow step. A mistake was made here. I shouldn't have gouged here. I should have just blinded. But the reason why I gouged is because gouge couldn't get dispelled. And I wanted to gouge the rogue and then go on priest and have blind and maybe bait, because the rogue has no sap or sheep DR. So I want to go for the gouge here, so then now we can both start to collapse on the priest. There's the full silence. This sort of setup right here, where there's 2.7 left on rogue and then the full silence on the priest, that could be enough to force the rogue to trinket for peels, which he didn't though, which was good. He knew that he had to hold. So there's the blind, but I still have trinket. So what I'm going to now do, and watch, I'm going to play this back too. Watch that I'm blinded, but look how I haven't trinketed yet. Look how I haven't trinketed yet. I want to see what the rogue is doing. So I'm going to run it back again. I hesitated for a moment, and this is something that's very, very important that you guys do. Do not just immediately trinket the blind. If you immediately trinket the blind, you give into the opportunity that it was a trap play. If this rogue was good, and if you look, right, once he gets out, notice this, I'm blinded. I knew he had one more vanish. So if he actually wanted to win this game, all he would have to do is after he got out of that gouge, to use prep, blind on me, and then wait and babysit and try and maybe kick the mage on a cast. For them to turn this around, it was there and it was possible. But as you see, he kidneys. So that was the mistake on him. He shouldn't have kidneyed my mage. My mage is just going to blink it. This means nothing. And he hasn't used prep yet. So what he should have done was use evasion to decrease my chances of me blinding, because I just want to trinket blind him. All I have to do is trinket blind this rogue right here, and it is a done wrap. on this priest. He does have trinket, but we have so much tempo. It's that little delay is just going to be enough because he's literally about to die. So I trinket and I blind, and then there's his trinket. The mage probably could have just sat and tried to get a sheep off, but we were just so upfront damage, especially because I have full energy. I was able to just dump into him. Also, shout out to the big crit here. But as you can see, they actually had a moment. They really did have a moment to win. As I really like replay it back too. Because we could have, there's the Garrett, there's the kidney. And then again, huge opener, 10%. There's paints up on him. He still held it, blocked the Garrett immediately. And this is why we deep dive, because now you know what you're looking for because we talked about it. And so here we go. We're now collapsing. Here's the rogue, and this is the moment that he could have literally just babysat me. Because you saw my 1K hemo was the big finisher on the priest. But he put the kidney into the mage. And then that stopped it. So again, be hesitant on when you trinket, because that really, really can mess you up and you can fall into the rogue's trap. That's why I waited a second, because if he wants to cheap shot me, that's fine. I'm sitting the cheap shot. If he wants the blind vanish cheap shot me, that's fine. And if he wants to seriously babysit me, that's fine too. But he also is probably going to get sheeped by my mage, and he's going to try and get a sheep off in between those gaps. So like at the last second, a cheap shot. So then there's a gap where I can then be free, and then he's going to have to get dispelled. And then that whole like delay and everything like that, that human error starts to creep up, and that lag time as well, involving MS and just reaction. And then that next thing you know, you have a second, and then you have a global, and then that's really all it kind of takes to finish it. So the rogue really wanted to win, though. He definitely could have babysat me here. But as you can see, we ended up finishing it through and pretty strong as well, just because of that really unique opener. All right, boys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what other comps and matchups that you guys would like to see. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to check out more episodes to come.